This is the Actbest Ranger. It's a big old fat tire e-bike from Actbest. And I've got a little experience with Actbest bikes previously. I've reviewed the Actbest Core Swept, and a friend of mine has the Actbest Core, just the standard model Core, and all three of these bikes are fantastic bikes. But we're gonna get into exactly what this one has to offer and see if this is the bike for you. Okay, let's knock out a speedometer and top speed test. We're going to check for accuracy in the speedometer and see how it matches with GPS. GPS might have a little bit of a delay, but for the most part, if the GPS matches with the speedometer, it's going to be accurate. First, I'm going to start off in just pedaling with no pedal assist. Oh, and this is not a bike that you want to pedal without any kind of pedal assist. This thing has got some weight to it, and these big tires, again, this is not made for riding along without pedal assist. But we are up to about 11 miles on the speedometer and 11 miles on GPS, so I'm going to say that's accurate. We're going to go up to pedal assist level 1. Not a whole lot of difference in pedal assist 1. Pedal assist 2, we did get up to 12 there. Pedal assist 2. All right, that kicked in and I felt quite a difference there. This took us up to 15 miles per hour. And it's holding a pretty steady 15 on pedal assist level 2. Pedal assist level 3. When that 1,000-watt motor kicks in between the different levels in pedal assist, you really feel it. But we're up to about 19.5 on the speedometer, and it hit 19 on the GPS. So that's about where pedal assist level 3 is going to cap. Level 4. We're up to about 24 miles per hour, and that feels like that's about where it's capped out on level 4 and level 5. We're at about 28. We hit like 28.6. And that's where the motor started to roll back and fall off. So this definitely is a class 3 bike. Do a brake test here. Yeah, these brakes are awesome. All right, now I'm going to do a speed test, throttle only, pedal assist level 1 to start out. And I guess I should have mentioned up to this point already that I do weigh 200 pounds. So here we go. Throttle only, pedal assist 1, but me not pedaling. And it looks like it caps out at 11 miles per hour. I'm going to bump it up to pedal assist level 2. Now we're at 15.0, basically. It jumped up to 15.3, but then it dropped back. Pedal assist level 3. Looks like about 19.5. Level 4. This is taking us up to about 24. Capping out at around 24. Level 5. $28 on the dot. Yeah, those brakes are awesome. I love these brakes. So the bike rides great. I was really expecting it to be a lot more bouncy than it is, but as far as it goes, this bike is probably like the closest to riding a motorcycle that I've ever ridden. I've got some of the moped slash mini bike style e-bikes that are kind of going for that like motorcycle aesthetic, but I would say that this one rides a lot closer to a motorcycle than those do. And I really didn't expect that. Like I said, it's a really comfortable ride, and I expected it to be a lot more bouncy than it is, but it's actually not. And I do have the tires inflated to their maximum capacity, so I was really expecting this to be bouncing all over the place, but no, this is a really, really comfortable ride, and it's solid and it handles well. I also like these really wide bars here. This makes for a comfortable ride as well. This is a big boy bike. This is not for kids for sure. So the build quality on this bike feels fantastic, and the brakes also feel great. They are hydraulic brakes, and they do a fantastic job of stopping the bike. These are some of the best brakes that I've ever felt on an e-bike, period. Okay, I'm going to see what kind of delay response we have with the pedal assist. I'm going to take off from a dead stop now. Here we go. There's half a crank, one, okay, a little less than one crank. And the pedal assist kicks in, and it picks up fast. This has got a 1,000-watt motor, so it takes off pretty quickly. It's no joke. These railroad tracks over here should make for a pretty good off-road test. I am going to take it on a mountain bike trail later, but that's going to be later on, and it did go right up over the rails. I was going to do this a little further back, but there was glass all over the tracks, so here we go. I don't expect this is going to be too rough riding with these big old fat fatties, but here we go. I'm not pedaling at all here. This is throttle only. I don't think I need to be up in level 3 though. Yeah, I wouldn't want to ride all the way across the state like this, but it's not bad at all. It's enough for me. We'll go back over the tracks. No problem. So I think it goes without saying that this bike is not super portable. It is big, it is heavy, it is not friendly on the portability aspect. So if you get this and you want to take it to ride trails and things like that a lot, you're going to have a pretty heavy-duty bike rack on the back of your vehicle, or have a pickup truck or something like that. Now, I got the bike into the back of my minivan, no problem, but it really does take up a lot of room, and it's too tall to stand up in the minivan, so it has to lay down, and it pretty much takes the entire space up there. So if you're looking for a bike that is really super portability friendly, then this is probably not it. So $870 total for this bike. That's got me pretty impressed. It's a lot of fun to ride on trails like this, and I've ridden it a little on the road, and it does fine. I really expected the tires to be a lot louder on pavement. They're actually not. They're not too loud at all. But the real test is going to be taking this bike on a mountain bike trail, and unfortunately, I don't know of any that are really close by to me, so that's going to be in a few days, but we'll do some magical editing, cutting, and cut to that right now. So something to be aware of with this bike is that it does have wide handlebars, so in a spot like this, you just want to have a little bit of extra caution. The wide handlebars are generally a good thing. They help to give you a little bit extra control over the bike, but you know, it is something to keep in mind when you are going through narrow spots like that. These brakes on this trail, fantastic. I mean, there's so much control that I'm getting here, and I've added my own little thumb throttle here, and I'm not even really using the throttle control. I'm just using pedal assist 1, and I'm down in like 4th gear here, and in 4th gear and pedal assist 1 with me pedaling, it's been plenty powerful enough, and it's giving me a really good control over the bike as well. And I'm pretty much just applying minimum force to the rear controlling brake when I need to, and it's doing great job of slowing down and stopping the bike when necessary. I am not somebody who goes crazy on mountain bike trails. I do love riding these kind of trails, but if I'm going to be real, I'm a complete novice when it comes to riding this style of trail. But it's a lot of fun, and I highly recommend it if you've never done it. But if you're a pro or somebody who does this a lot, please don't judge my riding skills too harshly. I'm just out here to have fun. I'm not out to win any races. And I am definitely having a lot of fun. I've dropped down into second gear. Again, this is a 7-speed bike, and I'm on pedal assist 1, and for some spots on this trail, it almost seems like it's too much. This 1,000-watt motor kicks in really fast and really has a lot of pickup. So it might be one of those things I try riding this without any kind of pedal assist at all and just see how well the bike does out here. Because, like I said, the motor's pretty powerful, and having it kick in so quick, sometimes it gives me a little bit more power than I actually want. But overall, so far, that was an example there where I came around a curve. Back there, I came around a curve a little bit faster than I wanted to because the pedal assist kicked in, and this 1,000-watt motor, when it kicks in, it takes off. But as far as like hill climbing ability, this thing has got it going on. So yeah, this bike is very responsive. The pedal assist kicks in fast and it's powerful, and the brakes are extremely responsive as well, so it got a little squirrely there. So for this part of the ride, I am just running in second gear with no pedal assist at all. It's nice to have, but when it kicks in too hard and too fast on tight curves, it's kind of not necessary. But when you got a steep hill, it's nice to have it when you need it. Another great thing about this bike is that because the tires are fat, it causes the bike to ride high. So I don't feel like the pedals are going to bottom out against things like roots and stuff like that. So that's actually really beneficial for a trail like this. So as far as it goes, these tires are good on this trail. I would prefer an actual straight up independent rear suspension. It's going to be a lot more comfortable and do a better job at absorbing the shocks along the way. But this bike is actually doing a fine job, and I would really kind of consider this more of a hybrid bike than a full-on mountain bike. This is a good bike for both street and trail, but it doesn't really excel at anything. It's not like the top in its class at either of those. But if you want a good mix to be able to take this thing for, light duty trails or trails like this occasionally, this bike is going to be good at everything that it does, but it's not going to be the top of its class at anything that it does, if that makes any sense. But what I love about this bike is that it can do a little bit of everything. It's fast when you need it to be fast. It's got some trail capabilities when you need to take it on the trails. And it's just an all-around comfortable and fun bike to ride. Really, this bike has almost too much power for a narrow, curvy trail like this. The throttle response, pedal response is very, very quick, especially with this 1,000-watt motor. It kicks in very quickly. The brakes are really grabby, and which is a good thing. but when you hit the brakes, it cuts all the power from the motor, and then when you take off again, the motor just wants to rip and take off very quickly. I've been riding most of this in pedal assist 1, and it definitely takes off really quickly when it takes off, and sometimes that's not a good thing. So one thing I will say, the difference between riding an e-mountain bike versus like a dirt bike, for example, the power and braking on an e-bike is all or nothing, and it can be a little frustrating to ride because, like, for example, you know, when you're riding a trail like this on, well, not necessarily like this, but when you're riding a dirt bike, you can feather the throttle and the brakes to kind of make the bike handle a little bit better. Whereas this one, once you apply the brakes, it cuts the throttle, it cuts the power to the motor completely. So you can't use the throttle and braking and balance the two to your advantage. Just something to be aware of. So here we've got a wider trail, and this bike is doing a lot better on this kind of trail, whereas the bike is just kind of big for the narrow, curvy trail like I was on previously, and now that we can really have some room to work, the bike is a lot more fun to work with. All right, I'm maintaining a pretty steady 19 miles per hour. We're going to do some off pavement into the grass. Oh yeah, smooth. And car coming. Yeah, this bike, it rides pretty good off-road. A rear independent suspension would be better, but it's not bad at all. And back to the pavement. No problems. Going down some monster hills here. This is where it's really important to have good brakes, and this bike does. I can't stress it enough. It has fantastic braking. Okay, I'm going to do a monster hill climb here. I'm in 4th gear. Pedal assist level 5, and this is not a hill that I would want to climb without any kind of pedal assist. But here we go. This thing does get kind of hellish the closer we get to the top. So far I'm sitting down, I'm giving minimum pedaling, and it's climbing right up to the top. This is where it really gets rough. Still in 4th gear. I guess I could drop down to 2nd. Yeah, this is making it right up this hill without any effort whatsoever. This is awesome. That 1,000-watt motor, I think it's a 1,400-watt peak motor, really has a lot to say for itself. All right, time to do a walk around of the bike and check out what we get. And the first big old fat fatty feature is these big old fat fatty tires, and I like them a lot. They ride nice. They're not too bouncy. I do have them inflated pretty high. We got hydraulic 160 disc brakes, and these are some of the best brakes I've ever felt on a bike. They do a fantastic job of stopping this bike. But these brakes do a fantastic job. I am not overhyping this thing at all. This is some of the best brakes I've ever felt on a bike. Up here, standard e-bike headlight. Bouncy forks, they are adjustable and we can lock them out. Up top we got comfort grips, headlight, horn. This is our control screen. It's plain Jane. It's really simple, but this is my favorite kind of control screen. It's easy to see and it gets the job done. More well-built simplicity over here. We've got our 7-speed Shimano thumb shifter. Twist throttle over here. Tough metal pedals. Again, 160 hydraulic brakes in the back, and I can't stress enough how much I love these brakes. 1,000 watt motor, and it's stamped 48 volt 26 inch 1,000 watt tourney derailleur and a derailleur guard, which is always nice. And I forgot to clip this little zip strip off of here. 7-speed gears, and the front gear looks to be about mid-size. It's not huge, it's not small. It's that good middle range for climbing hills and getting up to some top speed. Though I do want to stress this thing is heavy. You don't want to pedal this without pedal assist unless you're working leg day. I'd say the weakest point on the bike is this seat. It's comfortable, it's got plenty of padding, but I don't think this is built to last, but picking up a new seat is fairly cheap. Yesterday, when I recorded this part of the video, I forgot to bring the keys with me. I got them today, so that's why we're magically in a different location. And so to get the key out, it locks in place with this key here. And when you unlock it, you also have to flip this little switch over here and pull down on the battery. It's a safety feature, so it takes 2 hands to do that. I'm going to pull it out right now. It is a little tricky. You got to use 2 hands, and it's got some weight to it. And it is a 48 volt 14.5 amp hour battery. It's got some weight to it. I don't have the exact weight. I'd say this probably weighs 10-12 pounds if I had to guess. And getting it back in there, this is one of the downsides of the big fat fatty tires here, is that you don't have a lot of room to work with getting it back in. So it's got some weight, and you gotta just kind of pop it in there, lock it back into place, and you're good to go. I am gonna try to get an idea of the kind of range you can get out of this bike, and I've done most of this ride at 20 miles per hour, pedal assist level 3. I've come 8 miles so far at 20 miles per hour, aside from a few top speed tests, and we're down to 5 bars out of 6 on the battery. Okay, so I've come 11 miles. I'm using pedal assist level 3. I'm maintaining a pretty constant speed of right around 20 miles per hour, and the power that the bike is taking, I mean, it is just sipping the power. We're still at 5 out of 6 bars on the battery. That's after coming 11 miles and after doing the speed tests earlier, where I was running the bike at maximum speed. So yeah, I think I've got a long job ahead of me if I'm going to try to run this battery out completely. Now, this is a mildly downhill grade. This entire ride, it's nearly unnoticeable how slight the grade is, but it will definitely use more power going back than it has coming down this way. So I guess we'll just keep going and see what kind of life we get out of the battery. Okay, so I've come 13 miles. I am still at 5 out of 6 bars on the battery, though when I'm pedaling, it does teeter between 5 and 4 bars. So 13 miles to get back. I'm going to turn around now and make that trip back because I don't want to chance it. This bike is heavy, and I don't want to pedal it without any motor or battery helping me out. So here we go. All right, our entire ride today was 26 miles. I weigh 200 pounds. The first 13 miles of that ride was very minor grade going downhill, and the 13 miles coming back was very minor going uphill. We are at 2 bars, but it is teetering between 1 and 2 bars, and I rode the entire ride mostly with the 20 is plenty mindset, basically maintaining a pretty steady speed of around 20 miles per hour. In this case, a little bit less. It was like 19.6 miles per hour. Now, with that being said, this bike does get great mileage. Once you're up and rolling, that was a mostly straight trail with hardly any stops. So I would say that because these are really big, tall tires, once they're moving, they use that momentum to their advantage. But when you're taking off, you will probably get less mileage than what I got today, because you're going to be expelling a lot of power taking off from a stop, and it's going to take a lot of energy to get these wheels moving. So my final thoughts on the Actbest Ranger. Well, I think this is a fantastic bike for the price, but keep in mind that anytime I get on anything with two wheels, I'm just in a good mood, period, and I'm going to have nothing but good things to say about the bikes. I think this bike does a lot better on light duty, more wide trails like this, rather than the narrow trails that I was on before. So keep that in mind. It's just a big bike, and it's got big wide handlebars, big tall tires, so riding on trails like this is a lot more fun than riding on narrow trails. The bike also has plenty of battery power for whatever kind of riding you want to do, so that's always a plus. It's got good top speed if you're going to do commuting, and it's comfortable to ride on pavement or trails. But that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.